So we're live?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hello everybody. This is a new experience for us going live, so forgive us for any delays here. We're here today to talk about 15 minutes to strengthen your intuition. That's what we're going to be doing every Tuesday here at 5 o'clock, and we're going to be going over an understanding of how the intuition works, as well as each week giving you different exercises. But before we go into that, let me introduce us. This is Victoria Wells.
Hello.
And I'm Saba Hocek, both from Self Empowered Minds. So let's start off with talking about energy.
Yeah. Well, energy is all around us. You can see it when, of course, there's a huge thunderstorm, there's a huge lightning storm. But other than that, I mean, energy is coursing through our bodies. We can't exist without energy with our biological functions, and it controls our emotions, but it also controls our bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the energy of other people also affects us. I mean, we've all experienced that where you're feeling all great and you walk into a room and it's just like, oh, the energy was so heavy. And it could just be even one person in that room that is just giving off this really heavy or negative energy. So it's around everything that we deal with, as well as the people and within our own bodies.
Right. And as well as negative energy, there's a positive energy that people give off. And
Oh yeah.
it affects our energy, and it can lighten up the room and lighten our moods as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they've done so many test experiments with plants where they're giving these positive comments to one plant and negative comments to another. Oh, you're so beautiful, and this and that, and then how ugly you are to the other plant. Both equally healthy plants, and the one receiving the negative comments dies.
I swear I wasn't yelling at my plants. So now they're all dead. But yeah, I mean, all the energy that people give off, that they have coursing through their bodies, that is how intuition is received by people who are intuitive. They're essentially picking up energy.
Yep.
And interpreting it.
Yep.
So.
And that's exactly what we do is over time you learn it's a language, and you start to learn that language of energy. So you start to understand as you pick up, as you hear, in a sense, the energy of that other person, and you start to pick that up and understand how to interpret it. So it really is like a language, which is the language that we're going to be teaching all of you.
Right. And as you grow your intuition, as you fine tune it, those messages or the reception of that energy becomes a lot more detailed. So at first, you might just get the sense that you're feeling somebody's energy, but then it becomes a lot more defined to where you can get very detailed messages where you know very specific information about somebody or events based on the energy you're receiving.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, if you think of it as a language, really what we're doing is expanding our vocabulary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why don't we start off with one way to feel energy. So you want to, in order to open up your third eye, before feeling somebody else's energy, you want to first be able to feel your own energy.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to start off with. We'll be teaching how to feel your own energy, and then over time we'll start to expand that out to how to feel other people's energy.
Yeah. And before you attempt this, I think it's really important to know that you have to shut your thinking mind off a little bit. Because if you have a lot of chatter in your brain, you don't know the difference between sensing energy and your mind saying, oh, I'm sensing something or I'm not sensing something. It's really important to try to quiet your mind. And before you attempt this exercise, just take a couple of deep breaths in and out and listen to your breath as you're doing it, and just shut your eyes and breathe in and breathe out, and just
And really feel like as you're breathing out, you're just sort of flushing out your mind. Now just let it go. Just, don't have judgment, don't have assumptions or anything. Just clear it out as much as possible. Feel like every exhale is a flush.
yeah, exactly. So once you reach a certain state of peace of mind and you don't have these thoughts bouncing around, this is a really great exercise to begin to sense energy. So what you're going to do is take your hands, bring them about 2 or 3 inches away from one another. And if you want to, you can close your eyes, because it's easier to sense this with your eyes closed. And what you're going to do is move your hands a little further and closer towards one another until you start to feel a little bit of a pulling and pushing in between your hands. Now, everybody's going to feel something a little bit different, but what you should feel is a little bit of resistance, as if there's a real subtle magnet in between your hands.
And if you're having a hard time with this, a couple of things. You could rub your hands together, which increases that energy, and it makes it a little bit easier to feel. And the other thing you can do is keep your fingers closed, because that'll sort of confine that energy. So that's if you're having a hard time feeling it. I like also to sort of go in this circular motion. So again, you're creating a circular energy then, so it can be a little bit easier to feel. And then just circular, and then as Victoria was saying, just go in and out.
And as you practice this, it actually feels as if you're holding something really, really light in between your hands. And as you push them together or move them closer, it should feel like you're actually pushing a very, very light object.
Yeah, you should be able to feel like a resistance as you bring them closer together, almost like two magnets of the same polarity.
Yeah, and when you as you do this, I mean, practice it every day, or maybe more than once a day if you want to, but you should be able to bring your hands further away from one another, yet still feel that resistance or that feather-like object in between your hands. The more you sort of practice this and get a sense of being able to recognize energy. And when you can really, when you practice this a lot, you can have your hands this far away from one another and still feel that energy in between your hands. Now, there is another technique, and for some, this works even more quickly to recognize energy. So you take one hand and you hold it upwards, and you take your fingers as if it's, I'm not going to say a gun, that's no, you're just going to take the 2 hands and swirl, or 2 fingers and swirl them around in the center, the palm of your hand. And I'm not going to lead you in telling you what you're going to feel, but just do that for a couple of minutes, and you might start to feel a sensation that's a little stronger than the first exercise. Do you feel it? Well, I do. And what I can let you know what you're going to feel now. So a lot of people feel as if there is something tangible, like a pen, writing in the center of your palm, but that's the energy from your 2 fingers sort of penetrating your hand. So that's a really good way of learning to feel that energy in your body.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's as it gets stronger and stronger, and you're able to feel that more. This is how a person can move from being this far apart to that far apart, to actually being able to sense a person's energy who is not miles away and it's over perhaps Zoom or not even.
Yeah, because we do a lot of readings remotely, and people say, "Well, how do you do that?" Well, we have worked on that over time to be able to sense people's energy at a distance. So, yeah.
Can you see if there's any comments on there, because I can't see it on my computer. So,
Oh, look, we're talking. I can't figure that out.
okay. Well, feel free to comment, and hopefully we'll see your comments.
If not,
This is sort of a new technology in terms of the way that it's being streamed. So apologies if your comments aren't being answered, but I think when we review it later, we'll be able to see it.
yeah, forgive us. We're new to this, but we really hope you got something useful out of this, and we do appreciate you joining us.
Now, for next time, what we're going to be doing next time is talking about the different types of intuition, and also how we can interpret dreams. So bring your dreams, write your dreams down, because a lot of the dreams are coming from our intuition, and our subconscious mind is what is creating those dreams. So there's a lot of meaning behind it. So write down the dreams. This way we can talk about it in the next session, and we'll be giving you some clues on how to interpret those dreams.
Right, and some of them they are very literal. You can have a dream, and intuitively, it can be a very intuitive dream, a very vivid intuitive dream, and the next morning you can wake up and whatever you dreamt about can happen exactly as you dreamt about it. But sometimes there are interpretations to the dream that are also intuitive, and they may, it might not happen exactly as you had dreamt about it, but elements of that dream.
Right.
Yeah. So it's really important, and everybody has a different intuitive gift. It doesn't come to everybody the same way, but you will understand what your gift is
Exactly.
and how to nurture it and to grow that gift.
And usually once you find what your gift is and you can sort of tap into that, once you hook into that, the other means of sensing your intuition grow from there.
Yeah.
It's really important to find what your core sense of intuition is.
Yep. And we'll help you.
That's right.
So join us next week.
We'll see you next Tuesday, 5 o'clock. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.